Welcome to Status ERN. We're back after hiatus, but guess what? CBS 58 janitor over here. We got them. Liam's station is still as unreliable as it was on the Optiplex, and Lawson has been abducted by KWO-35. We're all here. We got Frank, Gwinnett EAS. We got me, Line Wolf Butterfly. We got Anna. Just Anna, Acorn, Cameron Seaman, Mr. Seaman,
Mr.
and
CRTV.
Mr. CRTV and Lawson. So we're all here. We're back.
After
if you missed us, fuck you. We're back. I'm joking. We love you. Do
you want me to tell you how long it's been since we released an episode?
How long has it been?
The Amazon storage bucket put it in deep storage.
That's not good.
Episode 15. So you may have noticed clicking on this podcast or showing it up anywhere, basically. This is season 2. So we decided, why not? Because we took such a long break, why not come back? Trying to be better than we were last time. So season 2.
We can be funnier.
This time, this entire season is only sponsored by WES-ERN Technologies, unless somebody tries to prove me wrong.
This podcast is sponsored by WES-ERN Technologies.
Treehouse.
Unless somebody tries.
Just kidding.
Which WES-ERN's product finally has a name.
Yeah, it's so cool.
What's it called?
Hey, Lawson.
What's it stand for?
As the CEO of WES-ERN Technologies, I'm asking you to cease and desist.
Ferrari over here.
Okay. Anyway, WES-ERN Technologies as Mara Endek is a thing that we will talk about later.
Yeah. So the main goal for this season is more original content. We realized in the last season that we were really constrained by literally nothing happening in the EAS world because it's the EAS world. You listen to things go burr and you probably die from a tornado. But
and occasionally get the news updates from FEMA, and that's just about it.
And you get an EAN from KWAW.
KWAW.
Yeah, so we're going to try to do a little bit more original content this season. We got one very, very exciting thing coming up that we've been talking about in season 1. I'm going to mention it here. Digital Alert Systems will be providing ERN with a DASDEC 3 for review and demo. So you can expect that right here on the ERN podcast.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome.
We're going to try to produce a whole...
it's just the receiver, though.
Not this episode.
Oh, no.
Not this episode, no. It'll be later in November, possibly beginning of December when this stuff will come out for us. But we're going to try to get that out to you guys so you guys can know what's going on in the EAS world when it comes to digital alert systems. So we thank Digital Alert Systems for their helping hands in making everything happen.
They've also been giving us some really good insight as to what's going on behind. You know, before they launched their website, they were like, hey, we got this brochure. And they've just been really great. So we like to thank them. For
not sponsored, doing. Not sponsored by Digital Alert Systems, but honest opinions here. Good company. We enjoy them a lot. And we want to thank them for everything that they've done for us.
And most importantly, they make good products.
Yeah, stuff that works, unlike Gorman Redlick.
However, you are sponsored by WES-ERN Technologies, so you better buy us.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to make a controversial opinion.
Oh?
We got a hot take.
Hot take.
Sage better. Cool.
In some ways.
Okay.
We'll be able to finally,
let's argue
that.
Let's argue that in another podcast episode.
Yeah, we'll go into a deep dive on the DASDEC, but for this episode, where it's kind of more central, kind of original content we've been working on. So this episode, Cam, if you want to go ahead, and what's the episode about?
Yeah, so this episode we're going to be talking about ERN stations. So that's a pretty broad term here, but what we're going to do is we got 5 ERN participants in here. Myself, we got Anna, Frank, Marley, and Lawson. Each of us run our own station. Some of us even more than one ERN station. But we're going to talk about basically the title of this episode is going to be how to run an internet radio station the ERN way.
Nope. It's how not to run an IP station the ERN way.
Well, first things first. The number one step in doing that is to not be Marley.
Yeah, yes. That's true. Don't be me.
If you've all seen the Ultimate EAS slander video, there's multiple other versions of that same thing. A lot of them include
which everyone has copied from me.
Yeah. It might as well be across several different planets at this point.
I stole some of Lawson's OVH power for a little while, and apparently he had no idea about it.
So I guess let's so let's just get right into it. I mean, Marley, do you want to start it off or talk about how Cult runs on ERN?
Yeah, so I can go and just kind of like a what do you call it? Like a broadcast chain. What do you call it?
I forgot to mention. You got each of us has got to give a one-liner about how your station runs.
Our station? A one-liner.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's my one-liner. It doesn't. Anyway, so how my station runs, it's very confusing. It's run over like 5 different machines for absolutely no reason whatsoever. The reason it's actually been like that is because thanks to Gabe, who runs like half the entire freaking network, I'm using he has this really nice.
They don't call him network operations for nothing.
Exactly. He has 2 really nice Dell PowerEdge servers.
And now I have one. Am I going to have to expect Cult on mine soon?
No, you will not.
Why not? Hey, is my server not good enough?
No, it's not good enough.
Sadness.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm just kidding. Anna's PowerEdge is pretty nice. Anyway, so how my station runs, it's actually really cursed. I'll just give a basic rundown of all the different machines that it runs on. So the first one here, the main one, you can't see it, but I'm pointing at it right now. It's this really like ancient, like dinosaur age laptop that came with Windows Vista on it from like, I don't even know, 12.
That came from Vista?
Yeah, it had Vista on it. It was.
Is that
really
the system that also has that M series Intel chip?
No, that's the computer I'm currently talking to you on. Yeah, my computers aren't the best. So that computer
I can confirm this because I've seen them myself.
That computer does alert processing and other random stuff like cap polling or NADCAP stuff. I really could move it to another machine, but I feel like then it would be completely in the cloud.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, even though it's literally broke.
WES-ERN Technologies would like to sponsor you by providing a PowerEdge that you just said was not powerful enough.
We could see. Okay,
I'm joking. I'm screwing with you.
That's all right. So, and then, my bad. And then we have we have one other machine that runs 3 VPSs for absolutely no reason. So the one that's the most important is called MV-Cult 2 or O2. That runs my automation software, which is Rivendell. Thank you to Emma for helping me set that up. Emma couldn't be here because they're at a Halloween party, but hopefully next episode they should be here. But basically it runs Rivendell. I've been having some problems with it recently where it's not generating logs, but it's such a powerful radio automation software. You can do so much with it, although it is a little bit hard to set up. Anyways, that I put all my music on that machine. Part of it's in FLAC. Some of it I have to, upgrade. Most of it's actually in 192 kilobits MP3.
Yeah. No, FLAC storage go brr.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of music. I plan to fix that, but anyways, then we have MV-Calto 1, which runs all the NDEC side of things. I run a really outdated copy of Anna's NDEC, and the reason why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because I've put so much shit into it.
But it is broken. It's broken in so many ways that you keep yelling at me to fix it, and I keep telling you to update. Thing.
Yeah, Anna's never going to help me fix it unless I update, which I'm not going to do because I have a lot of custom parameters in there that I don't want to just move to another one. I will someday. I'm too lazy, but I will.
You can just give me the copy that you have in there, upload it to the Git repo like you should, and then I'll do it for you.
No, the reason why, Anna, is because after I send you it and you saw it, you'd want to drink some unsea juice. So I won't send it to you. Because your eyes would burn.
I want to drink unsea juice writing my own code. It'll be fine.
Okay. Anyway, so that runs all the NDEC stuff. It that thing probably pulls a terabit of, I don't even know. It pulls a lot of data.
Yeah, don't you pull that off of Gabe's server?
I do, even though his internet is like
total bandwidth and data downloaded from Marley is in the terabytes. It's in the
terabytes, yeah, per month. It's actually ridiculous. So I monitor a shit ton of radio stations, and it works out well, but sometimes I miss things because I'm stupid and I like to overload the NDEC. Anyways.
How many monitors do you have on there?
Somewhere around 60
Hundreds.
on average. 60 on average.
I thought it was around
average.
80.
I want to see the high.
The highest I've had is over 200.
Was it from a severe weather event this year?
No, it was when I was being a dumbass and decided to monitor every NOAA weather radio stream.
The highest I've had run on the NDEC consistently is 500 something.
Is that when you did it on that MacBook, or was that?
Oh no, that was whenever I was running it on that MacBook, and I just wanted to see how hard I could push it. That MacBook screamed.
Yeah.
Apple M series chips actually like low key pretty neat.
Nah. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
For the power efficiency, the performance is pretty high.
Oh yeah, okay. If you're talking power efficiency, yeah. But now if you want to talk about like how many monitors I was running? How many? Okay, I was running only 500 monitors on there, and the computer was unusable until I stopped the NDEC. Now, because the NDEC's backend code has been revamped like 7 different times since then. So now if I were to... Now, I've run, I think, around 70 monitors on a Raspberry Pi CM4.
There's no way.
Yes, we tested this. 70
I've only
monitors,
been able to get 4 out of my Pi 4.
We ran it on a CM4, and we managed 70 monitors at 20% CPU usage.
Holy shit.
And that's what happens when you optimize your code.
Yeah.
Black magic. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Marley, that's what happens whenever you run the newest version.
Marley wouldn't be taking up 5 gigahertz of Gabe's server.
Yeah, no, it's actually ridiculous. Okay, so back to
Marley. Isn't Marley limited to like 3 now because Gabe got pissed off?
I accidentally ran my code in real time mode, and it went directly to the 2 giant Xeons he has in there. Xeons, right? And it just totally tanked everyone else's performance.
Marley was pulling around, I think it was like 10 gigahertz of CPU power.
It might have been because
some people might notice that we're referring to it in gigahertz is because Gabe is running ESXi, and it doesn't go off of core count; it goes off of the actual clocks that it's using.
Okay, so back to the server. So that one, the MV-Cult 01 runs all the NDEC stuff, and actually that's kind of it. I used to run other stuff on there, but I don't anymore. Now, so I used to run my station off of Obi Player, which is great, but it's not what I needed. So sorry, I got distracted. The reason why I have this next machine is because Obi Player actually requires 2 machines. It requires a storage machine, and it requires a playout machine, and actually a server machine. But so we have MV-Cult 01 store, which runs my processing in what's it called? I'm blanking. Stereo Tool. Stereo Tool is freaking awesome, like actually nuts. Sorry, Anna's sharing.
If you use it
here.
right,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, if you use it right, Stereo Tool is awesome.
A lot of people will just be like, "Ooh, Stereo Tool, just crank everything up to make it sound better."
Literally, just throw the maximum compression on, and it sounds like ass. I actually do a little tricky thing that I probably shouldn't be doing. I kind of make the bass be out of phase, which makes it a little bit knocky. It kind of sounds cool, but it's only for certain music that it works well with. And then we have... Actually, that's it. So basically what happens is it runs from the Rivendell machine over a FLAC stream to that other machine. I probably could have done it with some sort of like just direct networking or something, but I did it via Icecast. And then it's kind of like an STL thing. And then it goes out to the public over Don's Icecast. Basically, how I do alerts, though, is so that MV-Cult-01 machine. When it receives an alert, it generates headers, and then it secure copies the file over to a machine at my house in South Florida, which does logger magic and stupid things and adds like those, test alert tones you hear, the HD radio sounds. And then that secure copies the file over to the Rivendell machine, which pauses Rivendell and plays it. It's super complicated, super stupid, and not ethical at all because I can't even relay EANs properly.
Which is hilarious because if we're sitting here, Marley can do 90% of all of that just with one machine.
Yep, exactly. But
here's the thing. Marley doesn't have a powerful system, so you have to spread it across how many different systems did I hear there?
Well, it could be just done in one VM, but we were too lazy when setting up Rivendell. We did it on a very tight time.
Here's another thing that I have to point out. If this NDEC can run 70 monitors on a Raspberry Pi CM4, I think it can run pretty fine on Marley's Potato.
Yeah. But the thing is, my Potato has a very old CPU, and it's not very good at multitasking, if you will.
So isn't that the system you're on now, or is that the other one you were mentioning?
Oh, no. No, I couldn't even open Chrome on that thing if I tried. It's that bad.
If you'd like to donate to the cause of getting Marley a better system,
just a better system to be on in general. Holy shit, this thing is bad. The reason we haven't been doing video recordings is because of me and my shit laptop. So
and also you just going to sleep at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we're actually recording on a different schedule, so we might actually be able to fit me into more episodes, which is nice. Anyways, that's basically my station.
So yeah, cult.mp4, how it works.
Cult generalized.
Cult generalized. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes, but
I guess that's fair though. There's a lot of things that a lot of us do that are behind the scenes. But I guess
all of the production of my NDEC, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess on that topic, Anna, do you want to talk about how WEC-ERN runs on ERN? How that
you
works?
Want the short or the long version?
You gotta give us the one-liner.
It's complicated.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect. Okay, tell us about the complications.
Okay, long version. Now we go. So, WEC-ERN has run on, I think, 4 different stations at this point. We started off leaving what I used to run for my NERP station, which was 2 Dell laptops, one literally being a laptop that was built for 95 and XP, and then the other one being built for Vista. Basically, I got those things, and the Vista one ran Windows 7 and processed all the audio, and the XP one was only there for logs, and it also had my No Weather radio stream on that. And I ran that in NERP for, I think, 2 years before I left NERP, and then I joined ERN with that system. And I ran that in ERN until I started to leave Arkansas. However, before I started to leave Arkansas, I started working on something else, which is now known as the WEC-ERN Technologies Asmara. Would anybody who runs Asmara like to explain how stupid complex Asmara is? Marley, for example?
It's fucking nuts. It's the most audio things you could actually pack into a Python script as possible. It's freaking nuts. It's so cool. And the way it's been optimized, you can literally, like we said earlier, you can shove 500 freaking streams into that thing and probably decode half of them simultaneously. It's actually nuts.
You need 500 reliable streams, that is.
Yeah, 500 reliable streams, that is. Not that there is that many, probably.
Incoming Broadcastify streams.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to say about Asmara though is I've always learned that you can do everything on Python, just not well. But Asmara is one of those things that changes that narrative entirely.
Yeah,
so
it's actually impressive.
Basically, so here's a summary of how Asmara works. So I've worked with other people who are building software-based index in the field. For example, ERN is making PyDeck, which it's a cool concept, but it isn't completely there yet.
It's the TFT of the NDEC world.
Yeah. Well, ERN's experience is mostly with TFT, so it's getting there. It's just
the Burke.
Needs work, but it works.
Yeah, it works. It's just so the way PyDeck works is it doesn't actually re-encode. It kind of just records the alert and then slaps the alert headers back on the alert. It's weird. But it also has a bug in it, which I started to work on fixing for ERN, but I gave up halfway through. You can plug its own alerts into it and it will go off for them. So if you have an audio loop back, it will just keep going off for itself.
Oh, really?
It's an issue.
Horrible.
And so then just no duplicate detection.
Yeah. Then you have Kane's alert cast, which is actually pretty cool, but
his experience is mostly in Bash, Python, and PHP, so he tries to make a lot of things web interfaced.
Yeah, so Kane's is actually pretty cool. It's got a decent web interface. It's got a CGen, which mine doesn't have, but it could have.
Well, it did for a minute, but that was a train wreck because we hate how Raspberry Pi does their buffers.
Well, here's the thing: Kane CGen is that code. I gave it to. I gave him
really?
That code.
It is?
Yeah, it's that code.
No, I'm thinking of the other one that you made a long time ago, the full screen CGen.
Oh yeah, it's the same code. It's the same code.
The full screen one with the ERN logo on it?
Yeah, the full screen one was just modified to be a scroll. It's the same code.
Oh, by the way, FFmpeg is actually nuts the amount of things it can do. So yeah, that's how the CGen works.
Basically, like his has a CGen, it's got a web interface. It can do some stuff, but it isn't all the way there in CAP and in decoding yet. But it's getting there. I'm rooting for him because he's taking that code in cool places. Like
another reason why ours is a little bit ahead in CAP is because we actually have our own iPause things, so we can develop a lot better.
One cool thing about his is he's going for more of a hardware base. That's why I got to test my NDEC on a CM4 because I was talking with him. But like he's got a full freaking like LCD interface with buttons and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Okay, not to slam ERN, but do you remember when ERN literally just took an LCD screen and slapped it on a piece of cardboard with a paper on the front? Do you remember that when he made his own little NDEC, but it was just a piece of cardboard?
Yeah.
And then put LEDs on the side for like alert receiving and stuff.
I mean, it's creative.
ERN's system would work. It needs a lot of work, and
is that more of just work to get it to function properly in optimization, or
both?
Yeah, it's not very optimized.
So basically, Asmara I've been working on Asmara since technically 2020, 2019, because I started working on proper ZCZC to just decoding ZCZC properly. So I wound up making an original library called EAS to text, and that is where I really started, because I started with EAS to text, and that can take a ZCZC string and decode it and do all this fun stuff with it. And then I made another library called EAS-Gen. And these are quite possibly some of the fastest ways that you can decode and re-encode alerts in Python. So I spent a lot of time optimizing the literal hell out of these scripts.
Yeah, and these scripts run in under a second. It's
the first generation of EAS to text, whenever I was called Loggerbot v4 Gen 2, would literally take up to 8 seconds to decode a ZCZC string, and now it is done.
And that's just parsing text.
Yes, and now it is done in literally around not even it's in the milliseconds.
Yeah, it's pretty.
We're under 100 milliseconds in time. It's very much optimized now. But so you have EAS to text, and after I wrote that, I was like, I want to do EAS generation. So I wrote a script called EAS gen. There you go. And that one, you pass in that ZCZC string, and it spits out headers. And that one started off using literal wave files of it, the exact length of the header, of like each bit in the header. And it would literally preload the wave files, and then whenever you said generate, it would just take that ZCZC string, convert it into binary, and then like one wave file was named 0, one was named 1, and it would just go and say, if it's a 0, put the 0 onto the end of this audio file, and just build the audio file that way. And it took up to like 10 seconds to generate a 1 county alert.
Yeah, it
was hilarious.
It's like trying to play Jenga, but with same.
Yeah, but after I did that and I started going really deep into the library that I was using behind that, I found out I could generate audio in there and cache it, and really cool stuff. And now you can put in I think the longest I've seen it generate is, I think Gabe and I one day put in the longest possible header, and it took like 10 minutes to generate it. Because,
what?
Yeah.
That's funny.
By longest possible header, I mean we put in every single possible FIPS code that could go into a header into the system.
And you also did all sub counties, didn't you?
Oh yeah, and all sub, like it was something like there's like 4,000 possible FIPS codes, and then we told
multiply it by 9.
Yeah, multiply that by 9. It's a lot of FIPS codes, and it took it 10 minutes to crunch that because we also had to do it on Gabe's server because it's just so much data.
Because of the horsepower you needed.
Well, it generates the audio now in RAM because I wrote it to generate in RAM.
Yeah.
So basically, we needed like hundreds of gigs of RAM because the header that it spat out was in the gigabytes of wave file, and it was like one single header was 21 minutes long.
Yeah.
So,
and this
that was times
why same is limited to 32 counties.
No. I was wrong. That was whenever we just did like just the normal FIPS codes. Whenever we did like all subdivisions as well, it was like one header was like 85 minutes long.
I think I remember that.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it was like 75 to 85 minutes long. It was like over an hour for a single header. And bear in mind, there's 3 headers per alert. So
yeah.
Anyway, I wrote these 2 systems, and after I wrote these, I went, I wonder what I can do with them. So I started experimenting with Python, where I could take in decoding stuff from Multimon and fuck around with it and see what I can do. And then quickly figured out, hey, I can take in like raw audio and patch it into Multimon with Python, and then get the raw text output. And after I figured that out, I then went, wait a second, because at this time, this was after I didn't have anything to do around this time, so I wound up just kept throwing shit at the problem until I realized that I had one perfectly working NDEC monitor that could like record audio and everything. And I'm like, wait a second, I know how to multi-thread stuff in Python. So I wonder if I can throw just an extra 5 threads on this thing and call it good. Well, what I wound up doing is I wrote what is called a generator, which can basically, if you give it specific variables, it can generate an object. But here's the thing about a generator. There's no limit of how many objects you can generate with one. So after I realized that, oh no, I accidentally told it to generate 7 monitors, I went, wait a second, that's not a bad thing. Let's see how far it can go.
Yeah. The original thing that you were talking about with just one monitor, I actually used to use that. It worked.
Yeah.
But you needed to like do some weird things with pulse audio.
Yeah. But like after I got that generator system working, that's whenever I made that quote unquote, I call it the infinite monitor system. because you can just tell it, hey, I want you to generate like 400 monitors, and it will be like, okay.
Okay.
But so I made this system, and that's whenever I really showed it in ERN, and I got Gabe, and I think it was Gabe, Liam, and I think Dawn on my side at that point. And we kind of sat down and we kept playing with it. And we got it to start doing stuff like using that EAS to text library to log its decodes to Discord and all this stuff. And then sooner or later, we realized, oh crap, we have just made an entire fucking NDEC that just runs like in a single terminal. So then we just continued to develop it, and now we're on version 0.1.68. Yes, it's not 69 yet. And yes, I've been actually updating it off. Like, I've been updating it at like 0.68.1 just so we don't hit 69 yet.
Oh my god.
Nice.
But, well, the idea is we want 69 to be a big release because, come on, it's 0.69.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about the auto DJ system, how you actually run your station?
Yes. So, after I wrote this entire NDEC thing, we realized, it's kind of useless to have an NDEC without any audio, because at that time we had already managed to figure out how to patch. We had Pulse Audio patched in there, and then we figured out how to directly patch in IceCast. Thanks to Gabe for that, because Gabe and I sat down for hours figuring that one out. But we patched in IceCast and then metadata, and we were like, what's the point of having an IceCast stream if there's no audio on it? So I had a system called Auto DJ that I wrote for Ari to use on WDFA. It is still used on WDFA,
by the way.
Yeah, it is still used on WDFA, but it will be decommed whenever WDFA goes away. But so it was written back in 2020, I believe, for Ari for WDFA. And the only thing it does is it takes two directories, one named ads and one named IDs and one named audio, and it will take everything in that folder that is, a playable audio is playable audio. Shuffle
if I will,
and then
it also used to be used on WTYO for a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
If you remember that.
Yeah, I know. But it will take everything in those directories, shuffle it, and then spit it back out as basically a playlist.
Yeah.
And like I even wrote in the original versions, I wrote in stuff so it wouldn't be able to play any track back to back. And that is still technically in the new one and just made it way better. So basically, after I wrote this script and it generates these playlists, I went, wait a second. This works, and it works using the same libraries that the other one works. So I can just take this, throw it in the NDEC, and it just worked. So I just told the NDEC to what it should do is, if it's not processing an alert, basically run a while true loop that is just allowing it to process audio that isn't an alert. That's just, an audio file. And then whenever it is processing an alert, just queue that audio system up for the alert, and whenever the alert data is ready to be played, it will just kind of think of it as like you have two tracks playing side by side, and you just like pause one track, shift to the other one, or no, we don't even pause it. We just continue allowing that track to play, and we just shift it over, kind of like how an actual, hardware NDEC works, where it just kind of clips into the audio. So I wrote that, and it worked, and I was surprised.
So what you're saying is, not only did you make a fully functional NDEC, you made a fully functional auto DJ and shoved it into one.
Yep.
So basically, Anna's station flow is actually so awesome. All she has to do is literally run one Python file, and the entire station starts.
And it gets even better. I am the only person who has a software NDEC that A, processes their music for them, B, has add an ID insertion, C has a tone generator, so if there's no ad or IDs, it will play a tone to make sure that it works.
Which is
D
ear piercing.
has
by the
both, which I don't know why it shouldn't be because I've programmed it. It's supposed to be a 1 kilohertz tone, but it isn't, and I don't know why. D that I have both like audio system output, so pulse audio, whatever. But it also works on direct IceCast. Nobody else has that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and E, I have infinite monitors.
Yeah.
Which now F all have live audio support.
Yep. Anna can relay anything for her local and EANs correctly with live audio. So, I mean, it's kind of the same concept.
Think about it like it's the Sage where you can do live relay on anything, except now it's software.
Oh, wait, Anna, something I wasn't sure
the
about.
Live relay is just a filter thing. Yeah.
Well, I know that, but does it do what the DAS deck does, or does it do what the Sage does?
What do you mean by DAS deck or Sage?
Sage, so the DAS deck for an EAN, it can't like. So the Sage actually has a buffer, and it kind of can do weird black magic. The DAS deck kind of just does what the TFT does and just cuts straight in. It generates headers and cuts. Is that what it does?
It kind of does that, but technically we have a buffer system going. It's just that the buffer is so minuscule that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you did kind of something like that for EAS decoder. Couldn't that work here?
Yeah. Well, the way that the buffer works is, so the reason why we do have a buffer is because we still record the audio and we still send it to Discord because, it logs to Discord and it can send alert audio.
Yeah.
So we still record that locally so we can save it to a file, and because we have support for what is called the broadcaster. I wrote in support for a script called the broadcaster, which was made by...
That's a story for a whole nother day, by the way.
It's made by Vincent, and it's what Gabe used to run his station for the longest time. But I wrote in support for the broadcaster because, Gabe is one of my best friends, or if not my best friend, and I wanted to make sure that his software could work with my software. So I wrote in support for that. However, if we're generating a live alert, we need to make sure that whenever we're done sending that live alert, because of course the broadcaster can't send it live, we need it to be able to be passed to his software. So we wrote in support for that.
Yep. So NSStation is literally just a single Python file, which is awesome.
Yeah.
How about we switch over to Cam? What does your station look like?
I kind of want to move on to Lawson because I think Lawson has a pretty interesting system as well. So Lawson, do you kind of want to give the one-liner for how your station runs?
Status quo. It doesn't work.
Yeah, Lawson's been having some computer issues recently, so he's gone.
Actually, I am changing my one-liner to station PC, none, hotel, Trivago.
Yeah, exactly. He had a hard drive fail recently. So before your hard drive failed, how did it work in the back end?
How it runs?
Yeah.
So how it worked was it partially was the end deck and the actual physical end deck, the ESMAR end deck, and my TFT and now my Sage. So the end deck monitored over the air, well, not the over the air stuff. It was basically backup monitor, and that streamed to a separate IceCast mount that was hosted on my own server. And then that was then monitored via my TFT, which made life easier without having to take up a metric fuck ton of monitor slots. So that went into my TFT.
The ASMR deck is extremely powerful when you have limited monitors.
Yes, extremely. It is cracked at Fortnite, my guy. That does sound like something Frank would say.
Yeah, we need to get Frank on that.
I need something because my monitoring situation isn't that effective.
Yeah, he's using a very...
let me tell you, GWES-ERN Technologies has the solution for you.
Fun fact,
and I allowed access to said solution, though.
That was the original point of the NDEC in general, was to add more monitors to my hardware system. But now I have more hardware that I had back then, and we don't use it.
Yeah.
For reference, because we don't have video going on right now, Anna has 2 Sages, a TFT, and a tribal thing, and none of them run on.
Yeah. So I own 2 Sages, 2 911s, a 911D, an Easy, and a Burke. The Burke is dead. The second
Long
TFT
gone.
is back. No, it's still in Arkansas. I know where it is.
Well,
but
it should be shot.
No, it still works. It's fine.
No, I mean it should be shot with a shotgun.
No,
that thing is so bad.
No, are you talking about
the Burke?
Oh,
Burke.
Yeah, the Burke. Yeah,
the Burke should be shot.
I was talking about the other TFT. I know where the other TFT is.
All right.
You could just drive into Illinois real quick next year and then burn it, because arson is apparently legal next year.
What?
What?
Okay, you're gonna have to elaborate.
In the state of Illinois, starting in 2023, I believe, this is just my speculation because I'm not a official Illinois person or
Illinoisan.
Get myself involved with the politics of the great state of Illinois. But apparently you can commit arson in Illinois starting in 2023 and get away with it.
Fuck?
That's if someone doesn't sue you.
This is a certified Australia fire moment. Okay, Lawson, go ahead.
This is a certified California moment.
Yeah, I know. All right, Lawson, go ahead. So you were on the Sage or the TFT?
So yes, it went into TFT, now Sage, and then Sage go into Voicemeeter, which is being fed audio from Zara Radio. I just said Voicemeeter is being fed audio from Voicemeeter. No, it is not. Voicemeeter is being fed audio from Zara Radio and the TFT, or the Sage. And it was also being fed audio from one of my microphones that was in my room, which was absolutely fucking terrible. I think Marley remembers the time I tried live voicing an alert and it went absolutely horribly wrong.
Very vividly.
It went absolutely horribly wrong, and I loved every single part of it.
It was a mixture of distortion, like noise reduction, and very bad laptop.
And my mom yelling at me to go eat chicken in the background. His house is very loud,
by the way.
No, actually, when I'm at my mom's house, it's literally just her. It's only her.
True. Okay, so
yeah, just looking at everything here, it looks like Lawson has the most simple station so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
That
then you have Cam.
Oh yes,
actually,
Lawson,
Frank,
I think that's about it for your station. Unless
Frank
you have anything else you want to add into it.
Frank actually has quite a very similar setup to Lawson.
Yeah, I guess in that case, if it's pretty similar, do you want to go on, Frank, on about? You got to give us the one-liner though.
What's your
one-liner? The one-liner. Trying to think of a one. Okay, I got a one-liner. Consistent downtime. That's the one-liner.
I like that. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate because the streaming software. In fact, I actually had my station down because I announced in the ERN server that GUP is going off the air for hardware upgrades. What these hardware upgrades are, some of you already know, but that will be public, I believe, on the 3rd of November. Yeah, public eventually. But things are changing, and hopefully I can get a more complex system. I don't know why I'm holding a Sage battery, but that's what's rattling. I should probably put that down. But similarly to Lawson, I do have Zara Radio and occasionally VLC for the music playout, and that goes into Voicemeeter, which then is connected to my 1822, which is also connected to my Chiron Cody, which is not viewable because I do not have a TV station, just a music station. And let's see. When I am running WGUP, it likes to let's just say it likes to be inconsistent and crash on me. The relay monitor, or the monitor software in general.
Yeah.
which Marley likes to complain to me about like almost every day.
So that software is extremely old. I think it's written in C# or something, and it was what John used for the longest time to get to flood one? ERN. Yeah, that horrible thing.
Wait, is it the modded one that has the Python script to log to?
No, it doesn't have that.
No.
Okay, that isn't my version of that script. That was actually slightly optimized. It doesn't
matter. It sucks either way.
It's old.
It's old. It sucks. Whoever wrote it should go to the most bottom pit of hell. It's horrible, but
no, that's just federal prison.
They're listening.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I mean your software works. It's a concept software, but it works.
It works sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have the patience or the mindset to just go out and get cable, set up radios and whatnot in my room.
But you built this whole awesome monitoring chart.
I did, and about that. So I probably have the biggest regional coverage in ERN. I'm not too sure about that, but it certainly does have a lot of counties.
It's huge.
You don't.
Oh, true.
Nationwide doesn't count. Maybe Emma.
They also share pretty much the same coverage area, though.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I extend further south into just about the Bibb County line, which is in the Macon area.
Yeah, but Emma covers not only around the same area that you do in Georgia, but then also covers an entire chunk of Washington.
Yeah, but to be fair, those are
We're counting one station.
We're counting one station.
Yeah.
Technically, that does run under ECH, which is one station.
Yeah, well, okay. So
speaking of
pretty
ECH,
much has the same
hopefully on the next episode, Emma will be able to join us, be able to explain how their station runs. So we'll get a bigger picture of Emma in general.
Yeah, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, but your station is literally it's Sage, Voice Meter, Zara Radio, but right? Is that kind of how it works?
Pretty much. Yeah, it is like that. The only notable exception is with the monitoring software that I have, and because let's see, there's certain periods of WGUP I like to refer to. The early stages, which was from January 2021 all the way up until pretty much early this year. No affiliations with any relay program. Most of it was just relaying off of WDFA because that was the parent station, which now WGUP is under Cult Media. So that's new.
Up. Yeah, true. You're right.
I'm not.
You're right.
Yeah.
WGUP under WACN Technologies when we've got a server you can run on.
That's
you must not create a monopoly business.
I must create a monopoly. Words are hard. Hey, I've got a software endec on an R710 behind me that is currently running 40 monitors.
Yeah,
Marley can't do that for you.
Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
But let's see. Let's actually open up the monitoring software and just count how many monitors I have available to me. Let's just select everything real quick, starting in A1, I should say. About 300 or so.
Jesus Christ, how are you doing that?
Only 300?
Here's the thing. Yes, only 300 because I don't care for the rest of the country. And because in early 2021, back when me and Marley actually started talking, I decided to be the one to relay only her because I don't care about any other stations at that time.
Loyalty.
And it would just get so spammy. I would just be flooded with alerts. And this was when I did not have my Sage speaker muted because whenever I would record EAS captures, I would like to hear my Sage.
Back when that was a thing for everyone.
Yeah. But
I bet your mom loved that.
She did, trust me. She absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it would get extremely spammy. So what I did was I loaded up map charts started selecting my regional area, a rough estimate of my regional area, not the one defined as today, but did that first. Selected the counties that I actually care about and would actually want to hear alerts for, such as whatever is in South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, all that stuff. Every state that's surrounding Georgia. Then you also have some portions of Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Shut up. It's because he has friends up there. That's the only reason.
Pretty much. I don't care. Actually, I don't have any friends in Iowa, but DMX is a cool office. I do like to get alerts from them.
So weird.
Yeah, I am
quirky
pretty weird.
Station.
Quirky
it
station.
Is a very quirky station. It's probably it's the station with the most exceptions.
Do you want to explain your call sign?
What is my call sign?
WGP. Do you want to explain why it's WGP?
Yeah, because that's GUP actually stands for Girls in Panzer, which is a anime show that I am quite fascinated over for reasons that I don't know.
It's just a bunch of hot anime girls driving tanks. That's it. That's all it is.
They're not even hot though.
But they are not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
so that's the context behind the call sign. Let's see. Let's talk about my Sage because that's pretty much the only thing to talk about WGUP. Lately, it's been having issues upon attention tone and 1050 decoding for some stupid reason. Basically, the attention tone and the 1050 for some reason like to increase in gain as the alert comes through. So progressively over the 9 or 8 seconds, depending on which one, it will just become this very messed up e-rape that will go through my station. And the rest of the audio is just normal, which I still have not figured out the exact reason why. I've done everything that I could to fix the issue, but nothing as of now.
Yeah.
So hopefully with the hardware upgrades that I have coming up pretty soon, that should fix it as, let's just say I'm getting a new end deck.
I was gonna say, and I guess as another, if you don't mind me leaking a little bit, it's coming from my local area.
It is
specifically, it's coming directly from Missoula, Montana itself. So,
yeah, not sure where it came from, but hopefully I should be getting some upgrades for that particular end deck, and hopefully getting. Yeah, I'm not excited to pay around $200 to $350 for it, but that's probably gonna have to come at a time sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be fun. Excited to see how you implement that into your stuff.
Something I do want to note though is the on my desk sits my keyboard, my monitor, my Sage, and my Chiron Cody, which I absolutely love this thing. And unfortunately, I can't utilize it properly. The only thing I can do with it is really just record on OBS and upload it to YouTube. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I can really do with it. I don't feel like sacrificing my bandwidth and everything else just for a TV station. Unlike WDFA TV, which isn't even going to be running.
Oof. Rip.
WDFA.
Yeah, rip.
Yep.
All right, Cam.
But
you got a simple station as well. I like it.
And I'm also the only person in ERN to have a unique. Well, I'm not sure about the only one, but a unique logger, and that doesn't log in ERN.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, Cam, the man, the myth, the legend, the radio processing legend. One-liner for your station. What is it?
Quality over quantity.
Okay, I'll take that.
Daz deck.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Daz. So I guess I'll give a good explainer to why I call it quality over quantity. Recently, just updated my entire music library to FLAC. Every single song is in FLAC. There's a good reason for this. I run Stereo Tool under a custom preset that I built from scratch. Since I have experience sound engineering for job I used to work for. And yeah, so I built that thing from scratch, and I found that FLAC files play way nicer to Stereo Tool whenever it has more data to play with, because my FLACs are roughly 1.4 megabit on the bit rate.
Yeah.
So that's helpful, especially, and you got to think it's not MP3, so you don't have the compression artifacts that come with MP3s, which is also good that I'm in FLAC, because then my station Stereo Tool doesn't have to run as much trying to reverse the MP3 compression. So it's a win-win for that. But yeah, I'm the one that runs the DAS deck. Yeah, so I'm the DAS deck man. But
and it's been very reliable. Actually, your NDEC has been extremely reliable.
Aside from WDFA, are you the only one with a DAS deck?
Running a DAS deck in ERN, I believe so.
Not only one with a DAS deck, but yeah, the only one running one at the moment.
Yeah, and then just wait for WDFA to die.
it literally has.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, no, just the logger from
no, the DAS deck hasn't been plugged in since like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So Cam, you're the only one running a DAS deck right now. No, as in the DAS deck is not patched into the stream. It's the Sage.
Oh, it is the Sage still?
Yeah, nope. It's been that way for like 4 months.
I could have sworn that Ari had replaced it with the DAS, because I thought I was in the call with her whenever she did that.
No, it's the Sage.
Yeah, anyways, okay. I have learned the DAS deck pretty well, at least in the software. So I have a lot of custom settings, not usual. I block all demos because of New Hampshire. I block all non-local. I block all local RWTs and RMTs thanks to your national daily test sponsored by Nevada.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do local tests. I do ERN monthlies and weeklies, of course, because you kind of have to. And plus, I'm connected to the ERN cap, so it's easy for me to just get those right away. And like Marley was saying, been pretty reliable, which is surprising because I'm on Spectrum internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what my reliability is compared to everyone else in ERN, but I run better uptime, and it says I'm 99.4% reliable.
Oh, fun fact.
2 months.
Whenever CRTV was still on a TFT, CRTV was running off of Starlink.
It was, yes. And surprisingly, Starlink internet is very reliable. It was actually more reliable than a good chunk of participants.
Yeah.
At the time,
Starlink was doing you really good, actually.
I don't know. My reliability, since I moved over to Missoula for school, I feel like my reliability is just skyrocketed. Yeah, I don't know how, because it's Spectrum. Now that I say that, I'm probably going to jinx myself. But yeah, everything here is run off of UPS. So even if power goes out, the DAS have still got at least, I put a big enough UPS on it. It's like it's a 750 VA UPS. So it should run for roughly 10-20 minutes. So there's that buffer time. And then I put a 450 VA UPS on networking, and that should last hours because it's just a router and a modem.
So even if you lose power, you still,
as long as Spectrum doesn't go down, I'm fine. As long as the power outage isn't long enough to kill the UPSs or kill Spectrum, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All hardware, no software. Well, the only software I have is all the playout stuff, but all hardware for EAS. I monitor KUFM and WXL25 here, and then I monitor ERN cap, and then I actually switched my second monitor from ERN Chirp to Calt, just due to reliability, just in general. If I'm going to be reliable at myself as a station, might as well pick a more reliable for the monitors, because there's no point in me being active if there's no way for me to receive alerts that are OTA.
Oh, and speaking of you monitoring Cult, we have to figure out whatever is giving you decode errors. I don't know what's been going on with that. Maybe I'll just switch. I
was reading over it. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of those decode errors are coming off of special marine warnings. Not sure what that was, but I'm sure it's probably just something to do with you being on an old version of the NDEC.
It could be. I'll switch my encoding because I have the Sage emulation on right now. I'll switch it to just regular.
Put it to the digital.
No, I'm not doing the digital.
I loaded up a version of Asmara on my server that I can monitor the networking usage, and we're running 48 monitors and we're using around 5 megabits per second,
which is still good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's 5 megabits per second down. That will use a lot of bandwidth very, very quickly.
Yeah, of course.
But that's the only downside with infinite
pulls
monitors.
about 45 gigashits per megafart, so we're pretty good.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess I can go into more detail on how music and other stuff like that plays out. So I actually made a workflow on Apple Freeform because I have the betas and I was testing it out. So I actually run 2 stations off of the same set of equipment. It's called CRTV. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could actually kind of share where CRTV came from. It was because I was working at KRTV at the time, and we all thought it would be funny to replace the K with a C.
Canada KRTV moment.
If you see the bullshit thing I put on my website where it says Cameron's Radio to the Valley, no, that's not why it's there. I just put that there because I was like, I need something to come up with. Because I don't work for KRTV anymore, so it's kind of weird. But I run CRTV, which is it's a no EAS simulcast. Same exact music. Everything's in order. It's just a separate virtual audio cable. That goes into Stereo Tool, which is running V39 of my Stereo Tool preset. Yes, I've gone through 39 versions of it. I like to just tweak it and then leave it. If I feel like going back to it, or if I notice something's off, I'll go back and do it and make a new version of it. Marley, I believe your Stereo Tool processing actually came off of one of my older versions, right? And then you just tweaked it?
So I actually started
or at least
off
portions of my processing.
Portions, yeah. I pulled a lot of your natural dynamics settings, and then I tweaked it a little bit, but it's the root is from your V37 preset or something, and then the root, it's not this way at all anymore. But I pulled the original preset that I started off with from Studio One, hence why mine is called Studio 2. But Studio One's a solid preset, but I did a lot of stuff to this. I originally started with that, and then I for the weird phasing thing I'm doing with bass, I pulled it from this one island radio preset and then tweaked it. It's real weird, but yeah, I use a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, me and Marley are the ones that have caused the Stereo Tool blow up
invasion. Actually, Cam sent me a GIF the other day, or a video the other day, of his compressors running. He's tweaked them so much to where it's literally reducing less than a dB. Less than a decibel.
I personally hate compression, especially because I'm not much of this is an FM station streamed over the air. No, it's an IP station. You might as well take advantage of that extra audio quality.
Me who runs metal and compresses the shit out of it.
Basically, my viewpoint for how my station sounds is increase the dynamics, open up the stereo a little bit, kind of more show what the song is. Let the song shine in the way that it was meant to. Because if anyone knows what I'm talking about, the loudness wars in the 2010s, where loudest music is the winner, but
the loudness wars.
When you do it that way, your song sounds like shit. So what I like to do is I like to try to open up the music as much as it can, because that's what it's there for. The music is to listen to, not to cringe at, because it's so fucking loud. And since I'm an IP station, I'm not going to do FM style compression and loudness, because why would I? It's not going to be there. So that's what CRTV runs on, both ERN, CRTV, and CRTV. So the CRTV branch of my station is pretty simple. It goes Radio DJ, which is what I use instead of Rivendell or those other things, because I prefer it. The automation system makes more sense to me.
Yeah, no, it's a lot nicer. It's more convenient. It's actually been more reliable too.
It actually makes it a whole lot easier for me to run the podcast, because I run the podcast on my station every day from 8. I run it at 8 a.m. to whenever it's done, and then 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So If you ever want to listen to this podcast on a radio station, you can listen to ERN CRTV. You can go to erncrtv.com. But that's besides the point. So radio DJ feeds directly into Voicemeeter through a hi-fi virtual audio cable, so that the FLAC still, the bits are still there for FLAC. So, Stereo Tool has a chance to process it. It goes into Voicemeeter, and then it shoots it out two ways. It shoots it to Stereo Tool for the no EAS stream, and then the other one shoots it straight out to my DAS deck. So from there, automatic switching. So I was able to get rid of Voicemeeter switching. Also, if you're going to run an IP station, don't do Voicemeter switching if you're doing EAS. It's kind of cringe. And then from that...
Hey, I'm the one who came up with that idea, by the way. I'm legitimate. Okay, I'll be completely honest. Like, we had ways of doing it before.
Yeah.
But they weren't as good. And
it's not as simple as Voicemeter.
What happened was, as I was sitting down, and because I was using Voicemeter because Evan showed me how it used, and I used Voicemeter for I did a little nifty thing where I could take in two audio sources, pan them left and right, and then pan them back into a single source, so I can send it out to the end deck, and one monitor be on the left channel, one monitor be on the right.
That's exactly what I do with the DAS deck.
Yeah, I get two monitors per one audio cable. So I would use that. And I was sitting there trying to figure out, hey, since this is back before I had XLR. So I'm sitting there going, is there any way I could do this more efficiently on my Sage for audio switching? Because it was like, basically, whenever I had that system going, I had it so the way that we had it working was I patched my audio into the monitor input, because they have an input on the back of the 1822 that allows you to play in audio without EAS decoding.
Yeah.
So I would play my music in there, and once my music was in there, I would tell my Sage to monitor that source.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And then I patched my speaker outline, because you have the speaker, and then you've got speaker, and then like output 2. I don't remember what it's called. Line. Yeah. It's line out. I would take the line out and patch it into my computer. But that became very annoying because A, now I'm only playing mono, and B, if any of my settings ever changed, and that changed, I would have to go in and fix that before, something went wrong. So that is how I ran my station for like a year before I figured out how to do it just straight up with
the XLR connections.
No, not even that. I got the XLR, but before I even did that, I figured out the Voicemeter thing, because that allows me to still play stereo audio and my EAS is still switched. So I figured that out, and I had been running that for a while before I got my XLR cables. I actually made my own XLR cables, but I was running like that, and Ari came to me wondering how I was doing that, because Ari got her DAS deck and was, or no, this is when Ari had her TFT, because the TFT doesn't have an audio input source. She still did it with her DAS
deck, which annoyed the piss out of me.
You mean
she did it with her DAS
signal EMAS?
No, she switched to actual switching on the DAS deck, but before then...
She still did it with the DAS deck as of most recent, which was the dumbest shit ever. Yeah.
Yeah, but still... Whenever she had the TFT, she came to me asking me how to do this, which I'm still kind of pissed, because she made the video telling people how to set that up using the code that I gave her, because there's those scripts, without ever saying that I was the one who figured out how to do that.
This sounds like another person that you have been dealing with lately.
Yeah.
We're not gonna refer to it here on the podcast.
Remember, I'm a janitor. There's no possible way I can be an engineer. No way I can be an engineer.
I'm not going to bring up much else about that whole thing, but let's just say Anna proceeded to send me a video of her standing on top of a multi-million-dollar SDI rack.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say I cannot speak anything of this person because they supply my lager. So
I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm laughing because, like, I was told this info like right after I had to route 2 audio cables from their main switcher 3 rack, or main switch 3, which is in the back. It's like code 2512 and 2535 were the 2 ports that I had to route. And I had to literally stand on top of racks routing this through the laddering that they have on the ceiling for the cables. And then, like, as I was leaving that day, I was told that, hey, there's no possible way you can be an engineer. You have to be a janitor. And I was laughing my ass off. So I sent Cam a video of me standing on top of one of the racks as I was routing that cable. It's a 9-second clip of me saying, "Hey, hey guys, it's Anna's favorite video of the Anna's favorite game of the day. Will I fall into the SDI switching rack filled with millions of dollars worth of equipment?"
Yeah.
So, as you do.
But yeah, back to my station. So I did the voice meter thing with panning left and right because I don't use my third radio on my dad's deck, but I still want to be able to use all 4 monitors. And I have the Sound Blaster. So I did 2 separate. I do ERN cap, ERN call, and voice meter on the virtual audio devices, split them left and right, and then send it out to the same physical output. So from there, I'm able to monitor both ERN cap, ERN cult off of one cable, which is pretty nice. So from voice meter to my dad's deck for the music side of things, I use a Sound Blaster Play 3. It's a good USB sound card. It's got great audio quality. Highly recommend to someone looking for a USB sound card. But from there, the dad's deck does automatic switching and whatnot. Sends that info back to my HP Pro Desk, which runs everything. Literally everything runs off of one system in a DAS deck.
Yeah, that thing has held up freaking great.
Technically, that's 2 systems, but
Yeah. One system in an N deck. So, which is crazy because I used to run everything on an 6th Gen i3. I only recently put a 6th Gen i5 in there, and it's holding up perfectly. Because for those who don't know, Stereo Tool is a very, very CPU demanding application.
Yeah.
And I run 2 instances of it on the same chip.
Stereo 2 is a hungry boy.
It is, yeah. I run 2 instances of Stereo Tool, 2 instances of Butt, and then Radio DJ. I run stuff for the ERN phone system on it so that I can use it. I run logger software. Yeah, I run literally everything that is needed to run my station is on one system, which is really nice because it's not like Marley where you have to figure out, what system do I have to go into for this specific thing. It's all just one system.
Hey Cam, did I tell you why whenever I was back running my old system, why I had to run it on 2 different computers?
No, I don't think you ever did.
Because at that time I didn't have USB to serial adapters, so I had to use an actual fucking serial cable. And B, I ran out of USB ports on my main streaming computer. I completely ran out. No more USB ports. Wow. So even after I had gotten my serial to USB adapters, I legitimately couldn't add another logger onto. I couldn't add a logger because I had no USB ports. That computer, both of those laptops, their screen has failed. So.
You just run those headless, don't you?
Oh, yeah, they're basically headless, and basically, do you remember the times back in Arkansas whenever my station would go down and I would say, please come back up, because I did not know if they were going to come back up. You didn't know what that
system was doing.
Well, the thing about it is everything was in an auto start script. So if those systems ever went down, they should come back up, but there was some times where voice meter would fuck, and there goes my automation. But and then I guess I can move on to the probably one of the most controversial things in ERN itself about my station. So my DAS deck returns to the line in on the Pro Desk because I still for some reason can't find a USB sound card that supports stereo input. I have to use the onboard stereo line in. That
gets piped directly into Stereo Tool. Yes, CRTV processes the DAS deck. As a lot of people in here say, don't do it. I do. The only reason I do is because
how much
I was able
processing
to.
I put on my EAS?
Yeah, the thing is though, with my processing setup, I've also been able to minimize the effect on EAS. Just
it's not been
the only thing
bad.
that it does for EAS is just a little bit of compression to bring the header down a little bit. It doesn't change the tones. Everything is still perfectly decodable. It doesn't change the tone of the headers, so it still sounds like a DAS deck. It basically kind of just passes through without Stereo Tool thinking twice about it. And then from there it goes to BUT, which sends to ERN.
Only thing I've ever had problems with on processing headers is if you have something doing like phase correction or something like that, it can totally screw up your header. So don't do phasing.
It just makes it undecodable.
It's just not decodable at all. Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, so
Marley.
Yeah.
I'd say compression is the only thing you can kind of get away with. Like back whenever I was running WES-ERN in Arkansas, I still actually have the compressor. It's actually on the rack behind me. I would run a Behringer. Oh, what the fuck are you? Composer Pro. And the reason why I would feed my EAS through that is just to bring down the levels.
Yeah, because I feel like with Index, you can never get the level 100%. You kind of have to have some sort of external help with it.
I had this thing where my audio, my playout, my actual music playout was actually kind of on the quiet side. So I used the gain in the compression to bring it up to just the right level. But then
your EAS would blow it out of the water.
Yeah, my EAS was so because since I run my hardware side of the station at like professional levels, we're talking like plus 10 decibels. The moment my headers would kick in, it would destroy the music processing.
Yeah.
So I slapped it on the backside of my compressor. So what happens is the compressor brings it up, and it does do a little bit of compression on like hard fucking music hits.
Yeah,
so
hard
like
hits, yeah.
If you're sitting there with like a big freaking boom in the bass, it would compress it, but it would bring all like the mids and highs up, so it would make it sound better. But then whatever,
I like to think of compression as bringing the noises closer to each other.
Yeah, and that's the best thing about compression is that you're not always diving for the volume knob.
Yeah. Whenever the Sage triggers, however, it would compress it so fucking hard just to make sure that the Sage was in line with the music. And it worked. Yeah. It frankly worked. It worked every single time.
I feel like Sage is the one, the 1822 is the one you can get away with very hard compression.
Yeah. Especially because the generator for the FSK is analog, so it's not digital and it's not like harsh cutoffs on the bits. It's like they kind of roll off because it's voltages and they kind of fade in and out. So it's really it's a much easier to put compression on an 1822. And really, guys, all compression is just turning the volume up and down really fast. So, or slow if that's how you do your thing. So it's not like it's totally destroying it.
There was one thing that it did. I don't remember what it was. It was like, I don't remember. It was like frickin' attention tones were kind of wonky. And I do need to replace this compressor eventually. It's old and it was
Send it to me
hard. Well, here, I'm going to tell you what the problem with this compressor is. If you don't run this in stereo mode, if you run it in dual mono, one side of the compressor sounds completely different from the other one.
I had that issue with Stereo Tool recently. I don't know what the thing was with that. Yeah.
If you have them on the exact same settings, like to the T, all the knobs are in the exact same place, all buttons are clicked in the exact same way, but you have it on dual mono, the left channel will sound completely different from the right channel, and I hated it. Like, it would even output different levels, too, where it's like the left channel is like down here, and the right channel is like 2 decibels louder. And I was like, why?
gross.
So, but if you, at the moment you toggle it into fucking stereo mode, Bob's your uncle, everything's dandy.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much wraps it up for my station. So I don't know if you guys have much else to say about your stations. I mean, a lot of our
Not really,
we got
but
pretty deep into each of ours.
Should we do an entire podcast episode on how Asmara works, like deep dive?
I'd be down.
maybe.
Deep down, get a little bit more into the code. Maybe.
Hey,
Yeah, if you guys want to see that, Cam, isn't there a feedback page?
There is. You can go to erncrtv.com/podcast and you can submit suggestions. You can apply to be on the ERN podcast. That's a new thing we're doing in season 2. And yeah, just give us your thoughts. That first form for having a topic suggestion is open to anyone and everything. You can give us suggestions. You can give us feedback. I don't really care what you put through it.
the only thing I request, and this is a request from me, please don't put stupid things in there because the people who run the podcast have to go through every request. So if you start spamming memes in there,
we'll have to take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of us in quotation marks there, because I don't. Most of us have jobs or school, and we don't really have time for that. So just, try to be nice about it. We've had like one instance.
Hell, I
can't think of much else that we have to cover on this episode. I think we got through everyone's stations pretty well.
Yeah, we got through a lot.
I worked 60 hours this week.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
anyway,
what we'll have to do next episode, if there's different ERN participants that haven't joined this one, so such as Emma, if anyone, and maybe Gabe, if Gabe joins next week, we'll have to get into how their stations run, and we'll make that a part 2 as long with the other updates from the ERN podcast. And yeah, as always, this episode and season is sponsored by WES-ERN Technologies.
Buy our stuff. We're not going to give it to you, but buy it anyway.
And happy belated Halloween. It's Halloween tonight.
It is Halloween tonight, but by the time this uploads, it'll be probably November 1st. So, yeah.
Yep.
I swear to God, whichever is the first speaker I hear Mariah Carey coming out of, I'm shooting it. Because you know.
Sweet fantasy baby. Oh
okay. That's going to play after tonight. You know it.
Yep. Yeah, anyways, this has been the ERN podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you can subscribe on whatever platform you like. Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Have a great day, night, whatever, and come back for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.